Don't breathe for a while. Look, just firstly, I just want to welcome Michael, and of course he's offside of Kelly. I don't know whether that's all so good. Well done. Thanks for coming over, and you'll enjoy the night. And now I'll introduce Max and Janet Lewis, whose daughter, the beautiful Summer, will open the night's proceedings.
Thank you, Colin.
Two sex guys, you're beating me.
Closer.
Oh, closer.
Here we go.
All right. Thank you very much. We're so pleased to be able to welcome Michael and Kelly here in Western Australia.
Thank you.
It's so good to see you here. We've been watching you travelling all around Australia. We think we're so privileged to be able to listen to you as you go around meeting people and bringing real life stories into our homes so we can, share with one another, and we just think it's fabulous.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So one of the stories that we particularly loved following, we really liked the way that you supported Paul with the truck.
Yeah.
And Max will say a few words about that.
Yes, I just happened to be right next to the
Put it up there.
the black truck.
Can you reach that far?
Yeah. I just happened to be right next to the big black truck when Paul was going up the hill, and he's just the kindest soul.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And for Michael and Kelly to effectively, I believe you were giving him a great big hug by doing what you did over there, and I truly believe that you helped him get through that. And I hear now that the authorities are trying to hold on to his truck.
Yeah.
And he's appealing against that.
Yeah.
They will pull out every low down, dirty trick they can to try and hurt good people.
Yeah.
And so everyone has their story, and you helped share his story with all of us.
Oh, cheers.
And we really appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks very much.
Our lovely daughter is going to sing for you.
Yeah, great.
And it's a song called Into the West, because we want to welcome you into the West.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
When you're ready, let me know and I'll do the sound.
So yeah, thank you all for letting me sing today. It's a great opportunity. This is a song that I really love. I just started learning it because I'm going to be performing it soon with a live orchestra. So that's really exciting.
Wow.
Into the West has a really great message. It's in the movie Lord of the Rings, if any of you have seen it. But yeah, so I hope you take away from it whatever message suits you. But yeah, traveling into the West, I think it quite suits. So yeah, whenever you're ready. Louder.
Sound check.
That's good.
Yeah.
Lay down your sweet and weary head. Night is falling. You have come to journey's end. Sleep now and dream of the ones who came before. They are calling from across the distant shore. Why do you weep? What are these tears upon your face? Soon you will see. All of your fears will pass away, safe in my arms. You're only sleeping. What can you see? into the world of night, through shadows falling, out of memory and time. Don't say you have come now to the end. White shores are calling, you and I will meet again, and you will be here in my arms, just sleeping. What can you see on the horizon? Why do the white gulls call across the sea? A pyramid rises. The ships have come to carry you home. And thought will turn to silver glass. A light on the water, gray ships pass into the west.
Wow. Wow. You can hand it back to him, if you like.
Well, as you well know, that was utterly beautiful, Summer. And Summer has agreed intermittently with me. I'll do most of the singing tonight, of course. So she's agreed to come in there, but we will be shortly having we'll have a raffle done here, and I'll bring the hat around or put a hat over there for any gold coins or $50 notes. It doesn't matter. So whatever you think of it. After some of her songs, mine are obviously priceless. So if we can just get that there. And also, as you can see, I used to collect bolts and nuts and that sort of thing. Everyone has to have a bolt and a nut now and then. So anyone is able to take any of those bolts and nuts over there, and just once again, a silver coin donation, or no, gold coin donation. Gold coin, yeah. Gold coin donation. So all it's going to the Cafe Lockdown proceeds anyway. We're about to dish up. Enjoy your meal, and I'll start singing later on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There's, can I be indulgent and just read out something I wrote today for this show? It's only very, very short, and this is not aimed at you. This is something that we're selling to the world, what we can offer the world, which I think we're failing on. And it's called, is it time to turn on your lights? Imagine if we could see oppression. You're a lighthouse keeper watching the fog roll in. First it consumed the stars and the waves, then it ate the rocks in our buildings where we hold it at bay with our lights. I see apathetic compliance and the quiet that accompanies it as a fog that has devoured my country and is determined to douse our voices. Now, thanks to the vagaries of the hate speech laws, the fog has helped. Many of us who do not like trouble are already self-censoring. I'm so small, and the fog is so immense, what can I do? Once I could see our golden shores from here, but now all I see is their mist. Free speech is a tool. We use it when we are brave enough to identify the core of our problems, then we use it again to find solutions. That's how we built this country. It is also the tool we can use to discover ourselves, to allow our children to discover who they are, like this beautiful singer here, and bring the gift of their individuality to the combined poetry of humanity. And that's what you're doing. But here and now, let's not think of freedom of speech as a sound. For just a moment, let's think of it as something we can see, like a light we can use to hold their fog at bay. And their fog is faltering. Here and there, lights are piercing through their darkness. So, if you're still feeling overwhelmed, like there is nothing you can do, perhaps it's time to switch on your lights, Australia. May I suggest we all turn on our lights, for who knows, you might discover that your destiny is not to sink quietly into their mist, but instead become a lighthouse keeper, drawing all our lost brothers and sisters out of their dark.
Beautiful.
So we're going to be doing the podcast from here. I didn't know till Colin just told me. So we're going to do the podcast from here. The Cafe Lockout community will be logging in. Anyone wants to come and chat? I'm not interested. I know everyone's talking about Trump and Netanyahu and all, but I don't have them on my speed dial. And so I'm interested in the people that are actually suffering through this. So if you want to come sit in front of the camera and have a chat, come on down and join in.
Okay, very organised.
Come in, brother.
Cool.
Yeah.
Come in, brother.
I wrote a poem.
Yeah, great. Read it out.
I wrote a poem. Do I have to see here? Okay. Okay. I better let me get my glasses.
No worries. Get the glasses. Now I have to tell you, they're having this party because my 60th was last week and it was so shit. They set up another one. So, oh, you don't need that anymore. We're talking through that.
Okay. But I wrote a poem.
Yeah, cool.
And would you like to hear my poem?
Absolutely.
Okay. And
Let's get this out of the way.
okay, let's get this out. Let's see. Is this we're
Yeah,
live now? Are
that's speaking through there. Yep.
we? Okay. Okay. All
That
right.
bloke just asked me if I could get past me so we could look at Colin's nuts.
No, we don't want to know. No, we don't want to know.
You go with the front. What's your name first?
Paul?
Paul. And you have the best T-shirt.
Yeah. See here, my t-shirt.
Fully vaccinated by of blood of Jesus, by the blood of Jesus.
And then I made this badge, JC, Jesus Christ, Awake, Revelation 21:22.
What's
my favourite verse.
21:22?
Well, Christopher is on the 10th floor of God's house, and this, my mates, the Clunes, gave me this. Well, I made it, and it's on the 10th floor of God's house. It's Christopher's.
What is that?
In Revelations 21:22, it's Christopher's. It's crystal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's the revelation? What's this about Revelation 21?
Well, I made this badge because it's very
Yeah, but
important.
what's the actual phrase?
The verse.
Yeah, the verse, yeah.
Well, people have to look it up, but it's a new Jerusalem coming down. I really believe that Revelations is here.
Oh, yeah.
That's
a lot of people think that.
That's how I believe it all
A
is.
lot of people think that.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wrote this poem.
G'day, David. Go ahead.
I wrote this poem, and it's about if you mess with my family, I'd protect them. I'd go to battle to save my family's life. If you're going to kill me in battle, right, you'll get an almighty blow and go to hell because you're bad. And what this poem's about, it's about we can all live together as one. But if you want to, do this to people and not live us alive and not let us go fishing and not let us go hunting and not let us do the things that. No, Roger Cook has ruined it for everybody.
Yeah.
He says we can't catch big fish anymore. We couldn't go abalone diving at all.
Yeah.
Abalone diving.
Actually, look, this is the rest of Australia. For those who don't know, you can't fish in WA anymore.
No, I had the last day for abalone diving. They kept putting it off, and then they said, "Oh, it's too dangerous. You can't go now." But if it's too dangerous, you have to sign and say, "Look, I don't. Let's just not go. Let's just not do it." Just sign your life and say, "Enter at your own risk." Easy. They don't care about us. All they care about is they don't want us to have free food. But we paid for that license, and our kids have been doing this No, since the dawn of
How
time.
much did you pay for the license?
It was $50 each.
$50 each.
Yes.
So are you just a recreational abalone diver or professional?
Just recreational.
Yeah.
But
Because we want to speak to some professional ones when we're here too.
Oh,
But at the same time, recreational, that's a big thing in Australian culture, fishing.
of course, huge. A lot of people charter fishing. My friends have charter boats, and now their businesses will be obsolete very soon.
I'd love to speak to them and interview them.
You
share their story.
can get to speak to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, it's really a blessing that you come to Perth because a lot of people are feeling the pinch of what's going on, and we've
How are
got.
you handling the fuel prices at the moment?
Well, we all know it's the billionaires club, and we all know that they're lining their pockets with money that's not theirs.
Yeah.
And they don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to dig a hole and plant a tree, do they?
No. Oh, your poem, man. What's your poem?
Okay, my poem. My poem goes like this. I'm a swordsman of fire, of desire. I'm a swordsman that will take your breath away from you. A man that is hardened from family to family, from generation to generation, to whom he is today. He's a man of heart, bone and body, and blood from his eternal kingdom. A true warrior of strength and courage that set goals for himself, to set examples for others. To be a believer in God, in which I am. I'm a swordsman, remember, there to protect my family and foe. To come against me, you would lose in a mighty blow that will cost you health. But to be my brother, I will love you to the end and let bygones be bygones. To follow the same race, and I'll show you my grace. You can feel it and conceal it. Hold my hand, brother, and we shall both for the same path to heaven everlasting. Full and
That is fantastic, brother.
Thanks.
That's so good.
I wrote that.
I didn't know what you were going to do, and you blew me away, man. That was so powerful.
Right,
You know,
thanks.
It's not some wishy-washy poem. It's basically like a war poem.
Well, I am. I believe that we are righteous, and God wants to make our foothold with people that are all like us. I'm over all this weight stuff.
Yeah.
And yes, and I'm very proud. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of living in fear. I am Paul Andrew King. Everyone calls me PK, or they call me Kingy. You know?
Yeah, cool.
But I'm not. The real king is Jesus.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for coming on.
Okay, bye, man.
That's all right. The thing. Okay, I do have a second camera here, so we're at a party. It's a little bit better party than this. Would you like to see? Okay, we've got a doctor coming on.
Thank you,
Come in.
Michael. Yes, because I know that you probably know that I've been a doctor, and that and I've spoken out against the jab.
Yes, you
because
have.
the jab has been killing people, causing major injuries across Australia.
Absolutely.
And of course, I've long appreciated your work going all over Australia.
Thanks very much.
Realising that you're from the eastern states.
Yeah. I live on the road now.
Right.
I'm a refugee of the war, actually. I'm stuck here because of the fuel prices.
Right. I was thinking of telling you a story of the two medical students.
Yes, I'll get you to lean forward a bit.
Right.
Now let's come in. It'll be great.
Right. I don't think I should because I think it's wait till I get my book out.
All right.
I'm
How
still
long do you
waiting
have to go
for
on
it.
your book?
I hope they'll finally get back to me with the completed paginated manuscript so I can put the index in.
Yeah.
Hope to get it out in the middle of the year.
Yeah, well, while we're here, it'd be great to come around and interview you properly. Because I've interviewed most of the doctors that have stood up. From William Bay
That's
to
right, that'd be
Dr.
fantastic.
Porsche, stuff like
That's
that.
right.
I'd love to add you to their story.
Okay, so mine's a bit different because I resigned back in, I resigned from hospitals in 1989.
Yeah.
I did some general practice and said that my heart was gone.
Yeah.
And I just had to go back and work out
You mean your heart for the job? You didn't do
my
the job
heart
or you
for the
were
job and my heart for society.
Wow.
I don't want to talk about that, but I do want to talk about a strange incident because I imagine you're from Sydney or Melbourne or somewhere around
No,
there.
I've been living on the road for 4 years now, so I'm a gypsy.
Right, so I'm going to tell you a bit of my own story from when I was little. So I grew up in Sydney, and we had relatives in Melbourne. We used to travel there occasionally. And when we came back when I was 5 years old, we came to what's called the dog on the tucker box. You probably know that near Gundagai. And it always seemed odd, the statue that had of a dog sitting on a food box. Luckily it was closed, but it was supposed to commemorate the pioneers, etc. But and my parents had been there previously, Gundagai and Tumut, and they knew relatives of Charles Sturt, the explorer. So we had a connection there. But what was odd that once I left medicine, I started reading about the origin of Christianity and of Islam and strange stories about our background and history. What I came across was the Gospel of Thomas. It was dug up in 1945 and contained a whole lot of sayings, most of which are also found in the Christian Gospels. And one of the sayings it had referred to a common English expression, but it's not in German as far as I can find. It's called a dog in a manger. You've heard of the expression, dog in a manger. I mean, dog goes to sleep in the food box, and the cat and things dare not approach it because we're biting on the nose. So that it just monopolises everything. Well, I found that the Gospel of Thomas has that. And you know, and it has this strange story.
Hello.
Is there any ladies in the joint?
Hey, Scotty.
No, not ladies. Hey, man, how you
Is
going?
there any ladies in the joint? Please start getting some tucker in your gun.
Great to see you. Thanks, Doctor.
Get into it, people. While it's still there.
That's it. Yeah, go on.
At least you didn't call me a quack. That's right.
That's right.
About the Gospel of Thomas.
Yeah.
The Gospel of Thomas has a saying in it which is rather relevant to the hate speech laws now. It says, "Woe unto the Pharisees, they are like a dog in a manger.
Wow.
Neither will he eat, nor will he let the animals eat."
Wow.
And when I saw that, I immediately thought of the dog on the tucker box and stories of dogs being in food meant for others.
So they're preventing debate.
That's right. It is preventing debate.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we've got now.
And that's what they want.
And what we've got to bring out.
Yeah.
And it's just a study that we have to look at. I mean, you've got your love of animals, and you've got our traditional pioneers, you've got the interpretation of sayings, which can be so very different.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's why Matthew's Gospel, the contents of the manger is very, very different.
Yeah, it's amazing though.
That's right.
That's a really incredible saying.
It is, unfortunately. And see, while
That's what I'm trying to say about the lights. Have lights,
That's
time
right.
to stand up.
It's our lights, our time to think.
Yeah, it's our time to actually speak out.
And we have to look at all religions because all of them have very intelligent things to say,
Yeah.
even though they might say horrible things otherwise.
Yeah, I get it.
And what's happening now with the threat on Iran and what's happening to the Palestinians.
Yeah.
And you've got many very outspoken Jews in America, etc., who are combating the Zionist menace.
Yeah, that's right.
And unless we combat that and bring this into our understanding of vaccines and who is behind them, we are going to be behind the eight ball.
Yeah.
So I hope I can provide a message.
How do you feel as a doctor watching what's happening with how Alfred is basically dominating, like a dog in a manger, dominating
It is absolutely hateful.
and persecuting you?
That's
doctors?
right.
Like
I
Dr.
was lucky.
Miley.
That's right.
Absolute persecution.
I'd already left medicine years before.
Yeah.
And I started
Oh my
thinking
God, they
about
come after you like
society,
they'd
that's
be
right.
you'd be like Caesar in the Roman. They'd be
Yeah,
stabbing you
they
in the back
would.
like
That's
crazy.
right. Luckily, I'm 70 years old, so I'm
Yeah.
outside medicine now.
Yeah.
I've still got my ARPA registration, but I'm non-practicing, so I can only prescribe medications for myself. So I'm very much on the outside, but I know I have to give my life to save everyone in the world from these jabs.
Yeah.
Because the people who run the world want us dead.
Yeah.
They don't not after you or me. They're after the children. Get them
Yeah.
jabbed regularly, and they'll be sterilised
Well,
forever.
the thing is now, the next thing to talk about is not the deaths and the injuries, but the fertility of the next generation.
That's right. The fertility's going down. And remember that the Israelis jabbed their own soldiers as well.
Yeah, they did.
They were very compliant. Now, you might argue that their jabs were not as toxic as other people's, but you had the stupid Palestinians wanting the jab as well. They've learnt since. And people just have to wake up across the world. We have to combat the mainstream media, which is what you're doing.
Well, there was a lot of injured Israelis. I've interviewed a few, and I've interviewed a few doctors from there, and they're terrible injuries, and they just hit them.
That's right. And they're fooled as well, and most of the doctors remain fooled.
Yeah.
I mean, I got called doctor earlier,
Yeah.
but most of the doctors are now considered quacks. They're born again quacks. They learn proper things at medical school. That's what I went through, but not now.
Yeah, that's right.
See, I wanted to be an immunologist. This is the
Oh,
very
yeah,
field that
okay.
deals with it.
Wow.
And when I was working in immunology in 1986, I was thinking, what's causing all the autoimmune diseases? Lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and celiac disease, and scleroderma. Yes, various types of eczema in that. And then I thought there's more and more of these diseases. What correlates with that? Oh, vaccines. Using more and more vaccines to put aluminium in them. And I said that to the young immunologist, 8 years older than me, who was a Rhodes Scholar, dux of his private high school here.
Wow.
And he told me, he said, Mark, what you said is absolutely wrong. Vaccines have been thoroughly tested and you have no worry on that score at all. And, I mean, he was plausible. He was still captain. And I just thought he was completely right, and I just believe what he said. I don't know whether it was consciously lying or whether he believed the BS as well. I haven't met him, he's still around, but I haven't met up with him. But
I think they trust as well. It's like a series of trust levels.
That's right.
Yeah. And no one ever actually questions it, even though the evidence is right in front of them.
That's right. I can't mention who the head of the department was, but his brother was very high up in the Labor Party.
Yeah.
No, he's not now.
And also, how dangerous was it then to question vaccines when you were a doctor? Would you have been struck off? Or?
No, I wouldn't have been struck off, but that was a research part in the laboratory. I just noticed after that many of the staff, the medical staff turned against me and didn't like anything I said. And I should have woken up earlier than I did and got out. But I finally got out about 7 months later. And then I just stuck thinking, what is going to happen to medicine? I felt I was being lied to, but I didn't think it was about vaccines because I believed the bullshit for another 30 years and only woke up about 2017.
Wow. But what about, so when you say a general practitioner, you did for a while?
I was only under supervision. I wasn't really interested.
Oh, okay.
I just
fair
needed to get enough money.
Yeah.
And then after 1995, I left it. I left medicine, came back to Perth and decided to work out. I had enough money and decided to work out what the bloody hell's wrong with our society. Everything is going to go wrong. People are very complacent and happy. But I knew in my heart that things were going to go off. Because,
you're right.
Yeah, I have to say it. But I didn't want to be a doctor when I was young. I wanted to be an astronomer. And at the age of 10, I discovered Einstein's relativity theory. And I thought, what a load of bunk. It doesn't make any sense. And anyway, when I was 12, this happened 15 months later, I'm between primary and high school. I read a bit of Shirer's Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. I wanted to read about high schools, but instead was talking about universities and how there were Nazi scientists. That included 2 Nobel Prize winners, which he didn't mention. And that one of them, not a Nobel Prize winner, he'd written a book about it, and he said there's a worldwide Jewish plot to destroy civilization, and the core of this plot is Einstein's relativity theory, to get people thinking in what you'd call mathematical or deterministic terms. And that attitude is now spread across the world into medicine because it's all these mathematical predictions of vaccines being safe and the predictions of this COVID going to kill people by the millions. You can take a theoretical example. Let's say we have another type of COVID and these medical quacks say there's going to be 1 million dead unless we have lockdowns, jabs and masks. After they've had the lockdowns, jabs and masks, they've all had their dodgy classifications and 50,000 people die. Our medical authorities will then say that the mask, lockdowns and jabs saved 950,000 people, even though we know it's all BS because the mathematical predictions are wrong. And it's the privileging of mathematics over other sciences.
So mathematics is seen like an ultimate truth.
That's right, too much so. I mean, mathematics took a long time to develop. And you know about algebra and algorithms. They were invented in the Muslim world, as everybody knows, because of the words themselves. But the problem is, once it was invented, it was necessary for people to have algebra, for people like Newton and Leibniz to invent calculus. Once that was established, although it was a very nice way of presenting it, it also opened mathematics to abuse by people using powerful equations to manipulate others and say, oh, it means this, not just what you think. That's right. And that's how they've been able to control society through academia.
Wow.
It's a dreadful story.
That's brilliant. I'd like to come around because we're stuck here now. We actually want to come around and do some better looking documentaries rather than just in the street here.
Okay.
And why don't we come around? Maybe we spend have a cup of tea and capture a story in something that could spread around the world. I'd like to do that.
Okay, yes, and we could meet somewhere. I mean, my place is too crowded and stuff.
Oh, well, you can come to Simon's. We're living in a place now. We've got there, or there's in Fremantle. We have some people there. And I'll give us a place we can shoot.
I'll give you my phone number and things.
Yeah, well, give it to Kelly here, and she'll take it. We'll meet up. Great, thanks for coming on. It's
Thanks,
really
Michael.
good to meet you.
Great to see you.
Yeah, what a break.
Look forward to seeing you again.
Simon, I want you here.
Oh, no. It's not, I've been yakking too much. That's your turn, isn't it?
Super interesting. Richie, I've got a concept for you. No, I'll get him later.
Oh, bloody hell.
Hello, Simon.
Oh, not you again.
Hello, George. Now,
It's Michael Gray Griffith.
I want
Look
to
at me.
talk.
I'm the cafe locked out boy.
Hey, Ronnie.
Look at my nipples. They're hard.
I want to talk before you get too drunk.
My God.
I want to talk about the catwalk.
The
I
catwalk.
can't get over the catwalk.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, now.
No, this is in. So in WA, they have a law about the cats can't go out after a certain time.
It's forbidden.
It's why there's rats everywhere and mice.
That is forbidden. No cat shall be out of his house.
But wait, there's another law called the Cat Law.
Yeah, the Cat Act.
The Cat Act. And the Cat Act means that if you have a cat, it needs permission from your neighbour before it's allowed in the neighbour's yard.
That's right.
Your cat has to seek permission.
Yes. You need a permit. The cat needs a fucking
The
permit
cat needs a permit to go in your neighbour's
to
yard.
enter the neighbour's property. Otherwise, it commits an offence.
Now, saying that, what happened to your cat?
Right.
Here goes the story.
So I bought my little 4-year-old son back in the day a lovely little ginger cat called Hoppy, and he loved that. He loved that kitten. It's a beautiful little cat. And Hoppy's life, his whole life consisted of catching rats and mice, and he would sit on the pavement at the front of my dwelling, scavenging pats of people passing by. He just loved people. He loved a pat.
The Ginger Tom, wasn't it?
Ginger Tom, beautiful little Ginger Tom, Hoppy, the cat. And no problem. Then they brought in the Cat Act, which I didn't know anything about, and there was no problem either because, you know, on my street, everybody's civilized and everybody knew the cat. Nobody gave a fuck until my next door neighbor sold his house and new people moved in. And one day this lady came across to me and she said, I need to talk to you about your cat. And I said, yes. And she said, it's coming on my property. And I said,
It doesn't have a permit.
I said, it's a cat.
It hasn't applied for a permit. Seeing as only has paws, it's hard to use the internet.
And then I thought nothing more of it. You know, it's a cat. So until they started jailing my cat. So in cooperation with the...
So the rangers came and grabbed your cat.
Well, in cooperation with the authorities, they would lay a trap on my neighbour's veranda and lure it in with food, with promise of victuals. Here, pussy, pussy, come here, wallop, in the trap, in the van, to the other side of the city, to cat jail, and then they would hold it to ransom, and I'd have to produce $300 to jailbreak the fucking cat.
How often did they do this?
Twice.
$600 to break your cat out of
So the first time it happened, the ranger rang me up and he left a message on my phone. I'm there working away, you know, as a carpenter, working my ass off in the boiling sun, and I get this message from the ranger. And he goes, yeah, it's Ranger Dave here, just letting you know we've got your cat. It's up to you what you do about it, but just letting you know, it's a courtesy. So I ring this prick up and I say, did you say you had my cat? And he said, yeah, we got your cat. And, that's all. I've done my bit. I've let you know. If you want to get it back, it's at South Perth Pound. And I said, I started laughing. And he said,
Were they going to charge you like keeping fees?
Yeah. He said, like, it's $50 every day you don't pick it up. It's an extra $50 or whatever. I even had to pay for the fucking food for the cat in prison. It's like you get
prison food like?
I don't know.
Whiskers.
You get sent to jail.
Somebody's got to eat that shit.
You get sent to jail and you got to pay, like it's a hotel. And I started laughing. I was laughing. I said, "Is this a wind up? Are you from the fucking radio or something? Is this a wind up?" And he's going, "No, your cat is not. My cat is not allowed out at the Kyle." I was fucking taking the piss out of him, and he hung up on me. So I rang him back and I said, "Like, is it really serious? Like, you got my cat?" And he said, "Yeah." So I went and got the cat out. Right, I drove like for an hour. Jailbreak the cat, and I said to the cat in the car, "You fucking do this to me again, mate, you're out of there, you know." $300, you know. That's how much I love the cat. And so,
man, you must be just the second one.
Well, I'm just sitting there thinking, how the fuck did the ranger get the cat? What's going on? I didn't know anything about this cat act.
So you never heard of it?
No, I didn't know what the fuck it is. He said the cat act. According to the cat act, your cat was trespassing on your neighbour's property. And I said the same thing. It's a fucking cat. It didn't get the memo. It didn't get the memo. You're not allowed on your neighbour's property. What the fuck's all that about? So I went and knocked on the neighbour's door. Right? Bitch face McGee, my next door neighbour. If you're watching, you fucking bitch. So I knocked on the door and I said, the ranger got my cat. And she said, yes. And I said, well, did you see anything? What did he just, because the cat used to just sit on the pavement out the front of my house. I said, did you see the ranger? Or did he just drive past and just grab it or something? And she said, it was trapped on my veranda. I said, it was trapped on your veranda? What? So you set a trap for my cat? And she said, I didn't know it was your cat. And I said, you didn't know it was my cat. You came across and saw me a year ago and said, your cat is on my property. So you know it's my fucking cat. It's the ginger cat that lives next door to you. What are you talking about? And so she'd organised with the ranger to trap.
This was in the day. They took his cat in the day, Lee.
They took my cat.
But it was in the day.
Yeah, it was in the daytime, yeah.
Daytime.
So they lured my cat in with a trap with food in it and going, here, kitty, kitty, here, kitty, kitty, and like trap the cat and then put it in prison. So then I found out all about the cat act. And I thought, well, fuck it, I'll have to contain the cat. Otherwise, I'm just going to be up for $300 every week, right? So, I mean, Michael's staying at my place at the moment. It's got like 12 sets of French doors. It's not. If I imprison the cat, I imprison myself. The house is designed to be open. There's breeze coming through. It's fucking hot here, right? So what I did was I built a cat run out of chicken wire. So I put the
We've got a lot of religious people out, so maybe.
Oh, no swearing. So I put the fucking cat in this cat run, and it took it like 10 minutes to get out. It went ballistic. Yeah. So I thought, well, what do I do? So I thought, well, I have to build a better one. So I put the cat in my bedroom and then went to work. I come back from work, no cat. And I'm thinking, where's the cat? The windows are shut, the door's locked, no cat. And I look at the fireplace and there's all soot all over the tiles. The cat had gone up the chimney. This is a freedom cat. I don't care what you think about cats. Maybe you think, good, cats should be locked up. They're bastards, right? But this is a freedom cat. It's like Michael and myself. Doesn't want to be chained up. They brought in the law after the cat had been 4 years out doing its own thing. So the cat's locked away.
And they didn't inform the cat.
Couldn't, yeah. Anyway, cut a long story short, I had to get rid of the cat. A 14-year-old cat got sent to the farm because my neighbour can't tolerate having a cat sitting on the fence, sitting on the limestone wall.
How's the cat now?
It's offensive to her. Well, I mean, it had to go. I gave it to somebody, and somebody I don't know.
Oh my God.
And who was a cat lover, cat lady, an old cat lady. I'm an old man. I live on my own. I've got my dog and my cat. And the authorities, or my neighbour, using the authorities as a weapon, reach into my house and say, "No, you can't have that.
No.
You can't. We're going to take that from you." And if you're a freedom person and you love a bit of tyranny that suits you, like cats, well, you're not a freedom person, because 1 minute it's cats, next minute it's injections. That's how these things happen, you see. So it's an all or nothing proposition. Let the cats go free, man, or get rid of them. Like sterilise them all and let the last ones die off. Yeah, so that's the cat stuff.
That's real. That's happening here. And let's be honest, I know there's all this stuff about cats from the very picky people, but cats do their own thing. The reason humans love cats is we're not buying a pet, we're buying an owner. Earth, Western civilization is cat heaven. Where can they get a better deal? I mean, the cat, I was talking to you today, saying it'll go out when it wants, it'll answer to its name when it wants, it'll come in when it wants, and it'll wake you up to let it in, and you will let it in. If it wants to get fed at 3 o'clock in the morning, it will sit on your face and smack you in the head, and you'll go, "Oh, you want to feed?" And you'll get up and do it like a great slave, and you'll get up and do it. Of course, if the dog does that, like I said to you, he's off to the vet next day. See you, dog.
See you, dog.
But the cat, this is cat heaven. So I find this really funny, but we have this incredible bond with cats. We got to work. I don't know what the bond is. With a dog, you get it, but the cat, it's a strange.
I would call my relationship with my cat an uneasy alliance.
Yeah, that's right.
Of kind of mutual benefit. I'll tell you what, cat, you catch the rats and the mice, and I'll give you a pat on the head every now and again, and a bit of tuna. But otherwise, we do our own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my disgusting shit, Simon. She's a disgusting shit, Simon.
I think she's probably a cat person. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm offended.
Go get something to eat.
Somebody on the internet doesn't like me. I can't go on.
She's liking your story.
Yeah. Anyway, it's lovely to be here in the bosom of the anti-vaxxer community.
It's a better party. Got people over there.
But I've got to say, this is a shit party. It's fun. No, I'm sorry, I said. It's fact.
Now, who else can we grab?
I'll see you later.
See you, Simon.
Over and out. Yep.
So yeah, we're stuck here for the moment because of the fuel prices. I'm staying at Simon Space, which is great. Oh, it's really hard to hear. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, we left our mate's microphone at home, unfortunately. So let's see. Hello. Yeah, so we just left it at home, so going there, and it's so loud here. So we might wrap it up in a sec. Yeah, can you tell Colin that they're really hard to hear? Yeah, we'll probably call it quits for now and just wish you all a happy. What What's the date? Yeah, I don't know. But a happy war, so it's hard to hear and stuff. We'll do it later and get on. So we just thought we'd pop in and say that a party here. I actually don't know what time it is there, but we're going to eat from there. Oh, they can't hear. I think it's too loud. They can't hear. So you want to have a quick chat before we go? You've got to get really close. It's Kil Colin. We're going to be doing an interview with him soon. Thanks for the party, man. Great party.
It's a great party, and there generally are good parties over here. The old wonky eye here, but yeah.
Colin is the first person to be arrested coming back to WA. And we've got other people here who went from WA to Epic. So we're going to see if we can organise a proper documentary on it.
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah.
Because those people, apart from Darwin, you guys came the furthest.
Yeah. Well and truly. Yeah.
And we couldn't get back.
Yeah. 4,492 from Canberra. It was. Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So we'll do it this week. Oh, doesn't look handsome.
Oh, jeez.
Is that 90-year-old woman here?
No, she's not actually, unfortunately, yeah.
No way.
Well, Patty, yeah. But...
Oh, I'm in WA, I can hear you perfectly. Oh, that's good.
Oh, terrific.
10 p.m. here in MTG. Yeah.
Yeah.
One Nation is doing really well in South
Australia. Oh, fantastic.
Big clap from that.
Exactly, yeah. If anyone can't hear me, they must be terribly bloody deaf, I think. So
yeah.
I'm a boisterous young fella.
Oh, well, if they can hear us, I'll keep going.
Yeah.
See, do you want to come down, big fella?
Anything
you want to say before you go?
No, not really. I'll catch up later.
No worries.
Let Stuart go, eh?
Yeah, get him in.
It is, Stuart.
Here's a very prominent freedom fighter, Stuart. I think he used to be a school principal, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. And so here we are. Now, as a school principal, how did you remain a school principal with your values in this woke, crazy time? I mean, it's just getting more and more insane. I mean, did you have people wanting kitty litters in the toilets? Or
no, well, I was in a private school, and the private school I was part of, I was principal of two private schools, and they were Christian, and didn't have any issues regarding the...
What if someone had come up, though, and said, I want a kitty litter in the toilet for my daughter?
They're obviously got a mental illness.
Yeah.
So I would say, you're not a cat, you're a human. No, we don't put kitty litters in the girls' toilets or whatever.
We were talking about it on the show once. We thought, not only is it uncomfortable for the students to come in and find someone in the kitty litter, but who cleans it? I mean, the cleaner's job is bad enough. Instead of coming in and, and cleaning out an adult-sized kitty litter. And this is actually happening. It sounds mental, but we've met loads of people who say it's happening in our school.
Well, kids, I've got 5 children, and I've got my middle child is actually a bit of a troll.
Oh.
And so I can recognise when children see that they're playing this game. They actually, a lot of them are actually just seeing.
Like acting.
They're actually testing you out.
Yeah.
Kids will say, "I need to go to the toilet," when they obviously don't need to go to the toilet, but it's the next level. And why not? Because they make the teachers look completely idiotic.
Yeah,
that's right. If you're feeling
so it's a power. They've given the kids too much power.
Well, the kids are testing them.
Yeah.
And they say, are you as stupid as you really think as you say you are? And they say, yeah, we are.
Oh my God. What do you think about the grooming of children? Because in Melbourne now, when I left, they had a thing that they can come up to a kid, I think it's really early, and say, do you want to transition? And they don't have to tell the parents, and then it can all happen without the parents even knowing. How do you cope with that as someone who's a father and a principal?
Well, it's also related to their anti-gay conversion law, where you can't even counsel someone actually, or you might just grow out of this. This is a phase that you're going through.
Yeah.
And if you need help with that, we can help you with that.
Yeah.
Okay, stop dressing up in women's clothing. That might be a good start.
Stay out of your sister's knicker drawer.
Now you can go to prison for that. So I think the enemy often overplay the hand.
Yeah.
It's the same with COVID. they overplayed their hand, and everyone knew it was ridiculous to say that you could walk into, you had to wear a mask to walk into the cafe, but as soon as you sat down, you could take your mask off. I mean, they treated you like complete morons, and people eventually woke up and saying, this is just insanity.
Yeah.
And what's happening, particularly, woke capital of Australia is Victoria, and everyone sort of follows in their path. But there is a backlash, and they overplay their hand.
Yeah, there is.
And people are saying, you know what? It's the straw that broke the camel's back, and then there'll be a backlash, and so who knows what's going to happen?
The backlash is already happening.
Absolutely, yeah. And look at the result in South Australia, yeah.
And so the backlash is happening. If One Nation does well in South Australia, Labor's going to have to listen. If we continue this woke agenda, we're finished.
They might, yeah, because they will realise that it's the same as in the UK. The Tories are gone.
Yeah,
they're
gone.
finished. It's over. They don't exist anymore.
No, that's right.
So is reform perfect? No, by no means. No. But the dynamics is changed. You've heard about the Overton window.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Overton window is actually in progress. It's moving right now. So time. See, they always overplay their hand. They get arrogant, and this is what happens normally. That the government gets the power for 3 or 4 terms, and then they get kicked out because they become arrogant. So this is.
Do you think the Overton window could be a way to explain Albanese's face when he's sitting in the mosque? Do you think that's a perfect example?
It is, because it's like the. Who's Mark Stein talks about it. There's this hierarchy, who's at the top of the victimhood status.
That's right.
Is it the Muslims or is it the homosexuals? Because the Muslims don't really like the homosexuals, and so who's at the who's the pinnacle?
Where's the trans now?
The trans is at the very top.
Homosexuals and lesbians, they seem to. They're actually. I've interviewed a lot of homosexuals and lesbians, and they believe the trans agenda is about almost eradicating them.
Yes, they're quite opposed to it.
They're opposed to it, yeah.
I heard you talking about the hate speech laws, and we spoke on that when we did our walk of shame.
Yeah.
So
we're both candidates to be arrested, and everything comes out of our
mouth.
Look,
no. I will never say anything negative about trans. I can't because they don't exist. How can you be? You can't change your gender. So I can never say anything negative about these people who don't exist. So,
I think the best interview I did was with a woman called Mianna, who transitioned 30 years ago. But even she says she has a mental illness, gender dysphoria, it made her feel better, but she's not a Muslim. She understands that she's transitioned in this, and you have to have empathy for those amongst us who have strange afflictions and do it. But we grew up with Danny LaRue, we grew up with Dame Edna Everett. We've sort of had them around all the time. We understand they're unique and rare, but at the moment it's almost like a fad.
Well, it's a cult. It's a cult. It's a religion, and they've got the high priest.
Yeah.
And it happens to be politicians like Jacinda Allen in Victoria, who said trans kids are 7 times more likely to commit suicide than anyone else.
That's false.
That's all just a bullshit survey.
It comes from a transgender.
Yeah. So,
the other interesting thing that Mianna told me, she said, there's no trans community. She said, I don't hang out with other trans people. I'm not in a trans group. There's no trans community. So it's been forced on us, pushed down us, and I think they've offered people power. Weak people who don't have power can suddenly be trans.
I'm special. I'm special.
But there's men out there our age who can go get a job because they dress up as a woman. If we turn up as mature white males, no chance. You turn up as Linda, and suddenly you're in.
Well, trans used to be, short for transvestites. Guys get used to dressed up, get their kicks by dressing up, but they never claimed to be a woman. They were just
enjoyed wearing clothes. Was that thing?
I thought it was hilarious,
Yeah.
And they did the drag show. The whole thing was hilarious.
I don't know if you did this, but when we were really young, I remember there was a party in my life when I was about 19. And it was a swap party. The women went dressed as men, the men went dressed. We had a great time. It was just a ball to do it. But that was about it. There wasn't anything else. coming up. Yeah. Now, what are you doing at the moment? So you're doing the walk of shame. We're here, so we want to capture some more things while we're here, and we want to do some better, more high-quality documentaries of what's happening now and people. And there's things like things that push people over the edge now because a lot of people see COVID's past, which I don't think it is. But they got the fishing. People can't go fishing. Fishing is a cultural thing.
Yeah, I love fishing in Victoria. I used to go up Big River, Jamison, all those rivers. So I'm glad I'm out of that social republic.
We've got the fuel, which is exposing how globalisation is really sharp in Australia. Here we are now.
We should have our own fuel. I mean, we've got plenty of gas and fuel and coal. We should be rolling it. You know?
Absolutely.
We used to have. Why was it called the lucky country? Because we had some of the lowest energy prices in the world.
Yeah.
And now, what is it? You know.
Now we give it away for free. We buy it back at a premium. I mean, it's mental.
Yeah, it's self-harm, you know. All our politicians are guilty and should be going in for mental counselling, you know.
I know.
It's self-harm. So,
do you think, in reality, though, that our politicians now are just glove puppets for the corporations who are really the ones carving up Australia? Or do you think they actually are standalone politicians who believe what they say?
Well, the reason the politicians get away with it is because they get a lot of support. First of all, the universities have got a lot to blame because the universities went woke about 20 years ago, and there've been this gradual shift, and now the politicians will always be able to quote some professor or some university who supports their point of view.
Yeah.
And so, would you send your children to university? Only perhaps if they're doing something like pure mathematics, maybe. Maybe that's not particularly woke. I did an engineering degree, so back in those days it was hard drinking and pub crawls.
Bridges falling down.
So, that was at Melbourne University. I would recognise the place nowadays.
Yeah.
So, and also, what's interesting is the rise of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because lamestream media is dying, and it's dying at an incredibly fast rate.
Yeah.
And you're getting views that some mainstream channels on TV would love to get.
Yeah.
So,
and we're getting it a fraction of the cost too.
That's right, and they're dying, and nobody under 40 watches TV anymore.
And we've survived full-on censorship. They don't get any of that.
That's right. So, but it reminds me of Kodak, and like the Age newspaper, the Rivers of Gold, of the classified. Times are changing. They are changing, and the rise of what independent media is eating into their market incredibly. And AI is only going to intensify that.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of AI. I think it's going to be. I think it's
like any tool. I mean, we did. We've done images today. I don't think I can really show it, but we did an image today for that little thing I wrote, and so I don't know where it is now. I do too much stuff.
I'm getting married again.
But it really surprised me today with AI. I needed. I know where it is. But this. I'll just go back to you and show you this one there. So I wanted an image to show that Australia was a drill, and it came up with that.
Yeah.
And that I can use, and it's mine. Yeah. You can use it for T-shirts. You can use it for this.
And to get an artist to do that, it would cost you $1,000.
Yeah, and you might not get what you want.
That's right.
With this, I can sit and go, no, get rid of this and this. So AI is here. It's not going away. That's why I'm telling people the future is behind us. Wake up. The future's already here. It's not coming. It's here.
That's right. I mean, it should be that as a society should be getting more productive all the time. In the same way, because I was an agricultural engineer, and you look at the history of the harvesters and the improvement in farming methods made us so much more productive over the last 150 years. So over a period of time, you should be able to find new and better ways of doing it. But right now, it's getting harder and harder for young people. So I'm a mathematics focused sort of thing. Mathematics affects everything. All the decisions are based on statistics. And we know the expression there's lies and lies in statistics. So it's obviously misused. But it should be the case that as society goes on, we should be able to do things more efficiently. But the trouble is for our young people, the median wage compared to the median house price has worsened enormously. It shouldn't be that. Does any politician have an answer to why that is the case? No, because they're part of the problem.
Well, a lot of them own property and own several properties.
And they love the house prices going
so
up.
they're biased to
and it's more stamp duty coming in, there's more taxes coming in. So they love it. So there needs to be an
amazing that
uprising.
we've reached this generation now where we really, I love the old generations that go, they planted a seed for a forest that they never sat under, the tree that they never sat under. We don't seem to be doing that at all.
Well, I stand on the shoulders of my ancestors.
No, I don't mean us individually, but as a society and our politicians, there doesn't seem to be any thought in the next generations and the ones after that or the ones after that. It just seems to be focused quite on what they're doing now.
Well,
no vision really.
Well, they used to sing when I was in primary school. I'm a few years older than you. We used to sing "God Save the Queen."
Oh yeah.
We used to.
Yeah.
Now they do a "Welcome to Country." Welcome to Country, where they pay respect to our elders, which is actually animism. They're actually ancestor worship, because that's what they're paying respect to people past, present, and future. It's actually ancestor worship. It's another cult. So it's got into our schools and our young people. What's interesting is that as people coming out, that the younger generation are more conservative than the millennials and the Generation Z.
That's true.
That is exciting, So they're realising our generation has screwed it up big time.
I think they do. Oh, looks like we've got some music starting, so I might cut it short soon, wherever that is. But yeah, this is the interesting generation we are.
But there's reason for hope.
Yeah.
I go up and down, a bit like a roller coaster. Sometimes I say, what's the point? They've won.
There's been days where I haven't come out of the bus. It's been a cold day somewhere, and I go out for I just don't know if I can do it. And then the next day I'm up and doing it. It doesn't happen much, but fatigue is one of the things. It's 6 years now. It's fatigue. And we've got to come up with reinvention, even though I think the tide's turning. And then I was just saying when I was at a dinner party in Frio, I said, wouldn't it be lovely, instead of coming back every few years to Perth and seeing the same faces, to see a tenfold increase? And I think we can do it. I think it's here. I think it's just time to realise these first few years have been the organic, where we've come up and we've just rah, we've done a lot of great stuff. And maybe now it's time to go, okay, we're here to stay. The Lions formed, the Rotary formed, something like this. What are our options open to us so we can grow? So we've got good things to offer.
So you heard there's going to be some music. What's the most famous political song that you remember for the last 40, 50 years?
Political song.
Political.
Oh, it'd be a Dylan song.
Well, in Australia.
Oh, in Australia? The one about I Am Australian by the Seekers.
Yeah, okay, that was a good one. I'm thinking more that it's time to change for Gough Whitlam.
Yeah.
And now is the time to
change. Oh, you mean like the 12
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
And we can still remember that song. It's
Yeah.
the movement,
Yeah,
you know?
I think Jerry's not here tonight, but I'm really interviewing Jerry because he's youth operative. And I thought, now that's the story. You know?
So there was a momentum, you know. So it's interesting studying movements, how they begin, and how it's organic.
Yeah, and that's what
That's what I believe in. I think
that's why I've been trying to capture the history of it as a team.
That's right.
You're a principal, and you're in the city, you know, banging on. This is unique. I've never seen this before. And we've got all these people who've never met before sitting here passionately involved. It has the ability to grow from here. You know, I think we are coming from a really good place. And most of us have a spiritual base.
And there's a hunger. There's a hunger. So you interviewed Tracy.
Yep.
2 weeks ago, 35,000, 50,000 views. People want to hear the stories because the mainstream media is very narrow. And people get bored with it. And so what you're doing and what independent media is doing is really exciting.
Well, look, I saw on a beach on a tiny, I think it was, I can't even remember the town, it's something in South Wales. Wind blowing like crazy. We got in a little kitchen, a kitchenette on a caravan park, and a nurse who'd lost her job because she wouldn't get jabbed, been a nurse all these years, and she said, yeah, I'll say my say. Never done anything like it before. Enormous amount of views. And all she said was, she just said, I never had a child come in with myocarditis ever. These things never happened before. The normalizing in our schools never happened. And it was, she just saying, it's the vaccine. We could see it. And she just said it very clearly, bang, 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 she left. And you wouldn't think it didn't cost us anything to do. Everything was against us. The huts looked like this. And yet the interview goes out, goes enormous. People are ready, their ears are open, they're waiting to hear. You know? And I think this is our purpose. Truth. And even if we don't know the truth, can I get you on next? Come on. But I think this is one of our purposes now. I think to sort of set the foundation and go, what are we actually offering to the world? And cementing that in a way, sort of like what's our mantra? Because a lot of us go in all different ways. What do we actually want? This is what Adrian McRae talks about. What's our vision as a community?
Well, the advantage of what we're doing, being organic, is there is no leadership.
No, that's right.
And the advantage of that is there's no. If they try to stop us, there's too many of us for them to actually stop. Well, somebody else will pop up. So I like the fact that we're disorganized and we're doing different things. You know, that has strength to it as well.
That has strength. But what I see, because I'm in a unique perspective, I go town to town. I see shrinking numbers everywhere, same faces. So I'm thinking, is it time now to actually go time to look at ourselves and go, can we do something different, still be ourselves, but see us grow? Because I think what we're offering Australians is a future conducive to the human soul. That's what we want. You know?
Well, sometimes it's got to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. Because as I talking to you the other day, the gods that they were criticising in thousands of years ago was the Baals, because they got a Baal, got a fertility, and they would offer up their babies, throw them onto the fire to get the rain to come. And what's the God of this age? Do you remember what I said?
Yeah.
The God of this age is convenience.
Yeah, that's right. I think they're going to do the raffle.
All right.
Okay, we're going to go to the raffle now. I'm going to get some proper food and eat. We're going to be interviewing Stuart again. So I hope you enjoyed what we've got at the party, but we're going to cut it short and catch you later. Hopefully Colin lets me off. I'm going to have a party myself.
Okay.
Thanks for coming on.
Good to meet you.
See you. That's it. I'll let you go. Yeah, I think Colin's going to do the raffle and just come and let it go.
Why don't you stay here all night?
Oh, we can do that.
How about you?
I just want to have a party too.